The easiest and most hassle-free way to get a PHP server running on your Windows computer is to use a package called XAMPP. This will install Apache, MySQL, and PHP. Apache is web server software that is commonly used to run PHP. MySQL is a database engine. We won't be using MySQL in this project, but many PHP sites do. It's something you'll probably want to learn once you get a good handle on PHP. You can download the latest version of XAMPP at www.apachefriends.org. Click on XAMPP, the orange icon with an X. Click on XAMPP for Windows. Don't click on the big download button there at the top, but scroll down instead and find this download XAMPP link right here. The easiest thing is to download the installer. The download should start automatically, but if not, you can use this direct link. Once the file has downloaded, you can double-click to install it. XAMPP will give you this very scary warning, but don't worry. It's just telling you that it needs to be installed outside the Program Files folder for it to work most reliably. Go ahead and click OK, and then click through the installation. As I mentioned, they recommend installing outside the Program Files folder, and they recommend the C:XAMPP folder instead. The installer will ask if you want to open up XAMPP now, but go ahead and say no here so I can show you where to find it in the future. It's not strictly necessary, but I recommend rebooting your computer. XAMPP is known to have some issues if you don't reboot first. Once the computer reboots, go to the Start menu, All Programs, Apache Friends, XAMPP, XAMPP Control Panel. You may have to pick your language the first time, but that should launch the control panel. Next to Apache here, click the Start action. You'll probably get a Windows firewall alert. Be sure to clear this Public Networks checkbox and click Cancel. To make sure Apache is running, click on the admin next to the Apache line. Select your language, and you should see this screen that tells you have successfully installed XAMPP. You have now turned your computer into a web server that can process PHP code. Pretty cool, huh? We'll need to note two things before we're ready to start working. First, notice the web address here. Localhost is a special web address reserved for your computer. I will refer to this as the root of your local web server. When I ask you to browse to the root of your local web server, I mean for you to point your browser to localhost. If you see me working at a different address, just remember that your address is localhost. The second thing we need to note is a folder location. The root of a web server references a specific folder on the operating system. Open up Windows Explorer. Go to the new folder we created at C:XAMPP. There will be a folder in there called htdocs. This is short for hypertext documents. Files in this folder will be available at your localhost web address. I recommend creating a shortcut to that folder on your desktop. That will make it easier for you to find when you need to add new files. When I ask you to open up your htdocs directory, I mean for you to open up this folder. When you first install XAMPP, it puts a number of files we won't need in your htdocs directory. Leave the folders, but go ahead and delete the files there. Now let's create a PHP file in this htdocs directory. When working with programming files on your local computer, I strongly encourage you to have Windows display all file extensions. Press Alt to reveal the menu, then select Tools and Folder Options. Click the View tab, and then clear the Hide Extensions for Known File Types checkbox. Now let's create that new file. Right-click here and select New Text Document. Name this file test.php and clear out the .txt extension. Windows will give you a warning about changing the extension, which you can safely ignore here. You know what you're doing. If you are using Sublime Text 2 like I am, I would recommend opening that htdocs directory in the sidebar. You can do that under the Project menu. Select Add Folder to Project and select the htdocs directory. You should now see our htdocs directory in the sidebar, along with the XAMPP folders and our test.php file. Let's type in the name of our website here, Shirts for Mike. Save this file, and let's go back to our browser. Remove the XAMPP from the web address and just go straight to localhost. You'll now see a directory listing of all the files in that htdocs directory. Click on test.php, and you'll see that text we just typed. Once you have your web server up and running, you can skip ahead to the next quiz. You'll only have to answer questions pertaining to your operating system. Leave the web browser and text editor open. We'll be coming back to this file next.